Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
We want to punish it as severe as we can. That is why we say life imprisonment. But for bilateral reasons, for whatever reason which I cannot put on the table at the moment, government may decide to grant a particular person convicted under this law some form of a pardon or a parole. At that material moment, in considering whether the person should benefit from pardon or not, this fine will become relevant. So imposing a fine is not absolutely useless. To go a little bit beyond that, the fine, like I said, is a form of recovery for government. This is not meant for the victim. If we are minded to compensate the victim, we either have to put a clause that would usually, under our current criminal procedures, victims usually can initiate another civil proceeding to claim for compensation in a civil suit. But the civil procedure also allowed the court, the convicting court, to exercise its discretion and order for compensation. So prosecutors can make an application for compensation, which will be treated completely different from the fine. But the fine prima facie is owed to the state, not to the victim. But any good prosecutor who secures a conviction, they are asked to make some basic applications before sentencing. Between that period, the prosecution can apply for compensation. They are used to doing it in theft cases. Once somebody is convicted, before a sentence is passed, you inform the court of the effect of the crime on a particular victim and apply to the court that the court to consider compensation for the victims. In this kind of situation, perfectly the prosecutors can demand compensation. But for those who are debating whether this fine is for the victim or is for the state, it's for the state. The victims suffer, but the state also is incurring a lot of taxpayers' money. The likelihood of them paying. They are not likely going to pay at the time of conviction because they know they are going to jail for life. And we have no way of enforcing it on them. However, if they have been fined, in fact, let me correct that quickly, something come to my mind. We can execute against their properties, even while they are serving jail time. So this fine have a very useful purpose. If they are fined 500,000, they may not be legally paying, but remember, this is money due to government. Government can execute it. If we know that, for example, they have a luxurious car lying somewhere or they own a property, we can go after that property and execute this fine against that property, and government will still make money while in the meantime he's serving his jail life in jail. So the fine is not useless, it's very useful. It's very, very useful for the state. Thank you. The compensation as of now, we leave it to the prosecutors and the court. The jail time life is fine. That we maintain life in jail. If for whatever reason any state in power or government in power wants to grant pardon, I'm sure they will exercise, but Parliament would have seen the seriousness of this offense, and Parliament said the punishment should be life.
So you want to change your answer?
No, that is what is in the draft at the moment. What is in the old bill, the principal bill we are amending, says it's not less than 5 years. We are bringing it to life imprisonment to bring it in line with the Trafficking in Persons Act. That is the alignment we are doing. Because trafficking in persons will come with sentence to life. So this is an alignment with the Trafficking in Persons Act.
So let's get it clear. Then the proposal is for the 50,000 to be increased to 100,000 and not exceeding 500,000.
If that is a popular proposal, but like I said, the fine can even be more and it will be useful. For those of you who are asking whether it's useful or not, it can be useful because we can recover it so long as we can find the assets.
Yes, what about, because if you look at it, sometimes the compensation is poorly followed. So what can we do in this case to cover the compensation? Can we do something to make sure that we add something on this, to make sure that the compensation also will be full? Because as the minister said, it's only, it is for the state. But what is for the compensation now is my problem.
I believe I might be corrected on top of my head, but I believe the criminal procedure bill that is before you right now being considered, we have introduced provisions for the rights of victims in criminal trial. So that will be the general law that will look at the general issue of compensating victims of crime in general. So I will avoid the piecemeal legislation in this one. We are going to have a comprehensive law for the first time in this country that will be looking at the rights of victims in criminal trial. At the moment, like I said, the fate of victims is completely dependent on the court and the prosecutor. We don't have statutes that talks about rights of victims, but the courts have the discretion to award compensations where they arrive at a conviction. But we are now specifically legislating for that subject matter. And once we get it passed, it will cover all situations in criminal trial.
I saw that Yes, thank you. Yes, so like I said, the minister has done justice to the bill, depending on why it was. But again, we are in that process right now. We can change the minimum $50,000 because that's the proposal to bring it down to $50,000 and life imprisonment. So if you want to adjust the $50,000 to whatever. Yes.
There are a couple of proposals for it to be increased from 50 to 100,000, between 100,000 and 500,000, and life imprisonment. And as Honorable Minister has clarified, the fine goes to the state, and then of course honorable members raise concerns over the compensation aspect, and the minister has again clarified that it is for the prosecutor at the time of the matter to apply for compensation. I don't like that.
Yes, so can I propose?
I'm not very much in a while, but I don't know what happens in case of great victims. So they are usually compensated. And Minister of Justice, can you have a look at it and see? Change it, eh? Right. Change accordingly. Yes, thank you. Honourable members, the ABC has scheduled the third reading of the bill for Monday, the 28th of June, 2021. Of course, before that date, the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and the Office of the Clerk, in accordance with Standing Order 7220, should have the bill reprinted with the amended version of the bill. That is for all the amendments to be incorporated for circulation to honorable members before the third reading. And the Assembly will now resume. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
I want a clarification from the Honourable Minister. Let's go to the objects and reasons.
Honorable members, the assembly now resumes. Honorable members, may I now call on the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, because he is in charge of the bill, to report to the assembly what transpired during the committee stage of the Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020. Not April 2020. The amendment will cut out. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2021 has gone through committee stage and various amendments were proposed and adopted. The bill is now ready to be read at that time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Honorable members, as earlier communicated at the consideration stage, the third reading of the Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020 is now scheduled for Monday, 28th of June 2021, for the Honorable Attorney General and Minister to move for its third reading. However, before that date, the Office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice is hereby urged to comply with Standing Order Clause 7220 to ensure that the amended version includes all amendments agreed at the consideration stage, printed and circulated to honorable members in advance. And honorable members, by of information, of course, the year will be captured as part of the amendments. Thank you very much. And Clerk, can we proceed with the next item?
Thank you. Motion be it resolved that this August Assembly do consider and confirm the appointment of one of the shortlisted persons as Commissioner at the National Human Rights Commission by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice.
Honorable Attorney General, can you move your motion?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My apologies for this checking. The notice that this issue is coming up hasn't got to me this morning, but notwithstanding, may I most respectfully move a motion for the Madam Speaker, may I, to avoid any serious error on my part, may I ask for I don't know if it is in court, I normally say stand down. I don't know in the National Assembly. I need a few minutes to consult on this and come back to move this motion properly. My staff did not let me know that this is possible.
I have just observed, I think in all fairness, this thing should have been done beforehand. Just out of the blues, it's on the agenda, there should have been proper communication. So can we just say about 10-15 minutes? May I just suspend this sitting for about 10-15 minutes so that they will do their consultation and we resume at 1:45. Please. Sorry. So Manisa. Thank you. The Assembly now resumes. Honorable Attorney General, are you ready to move your motion? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a motion requesting this August Assembly to consider the shortlisted candidates for appointment.
Can you please? Yes, sir.
Honorable Speaker, I would want to move a point of order so that the Honorable Attorney General, Mr. Justice, would be able to do further review and maybe see why that is necessary, if you will allow me to do so. Honorable Speaker, if we look at standing order 11,
let's be properly guided. Are you making an observation or are you raising a point of order?
Point of order.
I'm saying that I am asking, are you raising a point of order or making an observation?
Point of order, and you may decide to accept it or not. That is understanding order 11.5. It says that the first order paper of a session agreed by the Assembly Business Committee shall be issued by the clerk to all members at least 2 days before the sitting. Thereafter, order papers must be issued at least 1 day in advance of sitting.
Just a second. Sittings, 11, am I right?
Yes.
11.5, okay.
11, standing order 11, paragraph 5. That the first order paper of a session agreed by the Assembly Business Committee shall be issued by the clerk to all members at least 2 days before the sitting. Thereafter, order papers must be issued at least 1 day in advance of sittings. Well, I know what is being done is to use cyberspace to alert members. So I'm not questioning really the effort by the Office of the Clerk to keep the members informed of the order paper. But I'm here talking about the physical handling of the order paper, which from my own concern, in this instance, would be the basis for allowing the Attorney General to farm back and look at the National Human Rights Commission Act and the task that he wishes the National Assembly to address. I believe that if we give him a chance to go back to the Act and look at it properly, I don't think he will be coming in the way that he intends to come. And I believe that we can rely on this Honorable Speaker to adjourn and then allow him to go back and bring the matter properly before us. That's my motion.
On the first issue, dealing with section of clause 11.5, I think I stand to be corrected, but the order paper is usually posted on the forum. I can understand some honorable members don't revert to using the forum, so because of that. But we just thought that some of these things come up abruptly. That's why we always try to post it online so that everybody can have a look at it before. That takes care of the 1 day notice. That's it. But of course, we just try to go paperless and make sure that everybody, we are all together on on all fronts. Now, on the issue of maybe the Attorney General having a second look at the Act, I personally stand to be corrected again, as usual, but I think it's just to table for him to move the motion, table this, and then probably maybe refer to a committee to look at it and then we come back. I stand to be corrected, but this is my understanding. We are together. Okay, thank you. Then we are just to move the motion, and then somebody can move for it to be further. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I very much appreciate the consideration of the however, we will move. The little time given to me, I averted my mind and I was able to recall all the efforts that the ministry did in this regard. Madam Speaker, I beg to move for this National Assembly to consider two names that were solicited by my ministry pursuant to the Human Rights Commission Act, Section 5, as well as the 7 at the back of the Human Rights Commissions Act. We require the process of filling or appointing commissioners in the National Human Rights Commission spelled out clearly in Section 5, as well as the procedure is also laid down at the 7 of the National Human Rights Commission Act. The only thing, if I may add, that may slightly different those who may be reading the 7 of the National Human Rights Commission Act is the 7, the operational procedure of the 7 at the back contemplated the appointment of all the 5 commissioners, and as a result it requires that 9 should be shortlisted and be given to the National Assembly so that you have enough room to be able to choose from. However, in this situation, a vacancy occurred, and that is a seat reserved for a female. We did follow all the due process. We advertised, we gazetted, but you are offered with 2 candidates to choose from, to choose one out of the 2, instead of 9 to choose 5 from, because we are not been appointing the entire commission anymore, but we are only appointing 1 to replace the one that exited. So you have 2 candidates. We have vetted, there is a committee that by law should be set up, which is a multi-sectoral committee that was composed. They are the ones that vetted all the applications and came up with this shortlist. And it has been gazetted for the public notice so that the public members of the public who may have any objection may put forward their objections to the appointment of these candidates. But we have not received any objections so far. So the next step now is to bring it before this August Assembly for your consideration and selection of one out of the 2 for the final appointment of the President. I move on those terms, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. I second the motion. Madam Speaker, I equally want to move the motion on the 15K because these papers were submitted to us this morning, and I was thinking it should not only lie on the CVs of the members. So I think we should go and forward. So I will move most of the 53K to be referred to the Committee of Public Appointments Committee and the Human Rights Committee.
First of all, we have to deal with the motion by the Honorable Attorney General and Municipal Justice. It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the appointment of one of the shortlisted persons as Commissioner at the National Human Rights Commission. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. And there's another motion. Yes, I know. There's another motion that was moved by the Honorable Member for Foni Binta Karanga. Can I, any seconder? Yes, Banyu Sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I can't say I will second because with some reservations, because the Human Rights Committee is under is through an act of parliament, and that act prescribes the appointment of the commissioners. I would second this motion, but to refer it to the appointments committee to go through the act, because it is prescribed in the act how the commissioners are appointed, but not to the Human Rights Committee.
The motion has been supported as amendments. Honorable, I'm just following the procedure. He has moved the motion. I asked for secondment. You seconded. What are the motion? So unless the mover wants to amend his motion, and when we take a second on the amended version of the motion.
Public Appointments Committee. Yes. And Human Rights Committee. I rise to second this motion.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Sorry, no, please. I think we could continue. Let's stop so shouting. Let's follow procedure. The motion has been moved and seconded that the appointment be referred to the appointments committee of the National Assembly. Am I right? And the Human Rights. There is a motion for it to be referred to the two committees as a joint committee, and it has been seconded. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. No. So the ayes have it. But it is now referred to the committee, to the joint committee, appointment committee, and the Human Rights Committee. No human rights. Only public appointment, no human rights. Thank you very much. And on that note, honorable members, we come to the end of today's sitting. And I thank you everybody and put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned till Tuesday, the 27th of June, 2021 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stands adjourned till Tuesday, the 27th of June, 2021. Honorable, we are still in session. Honorable Minister, we are still in session. The Assembly now stands adjourned till Tuesday, the 27th of June, 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt. Thank you very much. We are not in court. We still have
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonics Money Transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.